Hello and welcome back to the third episode of Sleep Talkin with Doze. I'm Isabella.
I'm Rahul.
And today we have our guest, Aimie, who will be talking all things sleep aids and what to do and what not to do.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited. Just a little disclaimer before we get started. We will be talking about drugs and alcohol, of which we both don't condone or encourage. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Perfect.
How did you sleep last night, Aimie Gillen?
I mean, slept quite well to begin with, but had a bit of a shock this morning. Dropped my whole cup of tea and smashed my mug, so great start to the day.
Oh no.
So
It's only up from here.
Yeah,
It's only up.
That's it can only get better, hopefully.
What about you, Rahul? How'd you sleep?
Well, given that we had to wake up at 9 a.m, I didn't sleep that much because I was in the library till maybe 2.
Oh.
But
Was it good sleep?
It was good
Quality?
sleep, sleep, but just not much of it, which tends to be the case recently.
A reoccurring thing.
What about you, Bells?
Mine was, do you know what? My actual sleep was okay. I was getting to sleep kind of okay, which is very rare for me. And then it gets to 12:30 and I hear this like blood curdling scream. I think we're getting broken into, someone's dying, something bad is happening. And then I hear, it just touched me, there's a rat. And I was like, oh gosh, like, I genuinely have woken up, like, heart is in my chest.
I would shit myself.
I genuinely was like, oh my god, thank God.
Really,
thank God,
have you got a fear of rats?
Well, who doesn't?
I
have a fear of
don't
rats?
I've seen
have
a couple
fear.
of cute ones about, but
Cute?
they're always fat rats that seem to end up in the house.
Yeah.
They eat all the rubbish.
Even there's been a time where there's a cat's just crying through my window. I just don't like it.
Rahul doesn't like being surprised.
Yeah, it just climbed through the window, started walking on like my kitchen counters and
What the
stuff.
hell?
But our rat was
I
just
quite
running
like that.
about and we were then trying to get rid of it and I was like, do you know what, I need to sleep, like let the rat just live here in peace, do you know what,
Yeah.
like it's not bothering me too much, so
Rat
here I
probably
am
needs to
now.
have a little sleep as well. So
Yeah, it does, exactly, respect it. Talking about sleep
Mm-hmm.
and struggling, we've got Aimie in to talk about all the different things that can help you. So what, if you're sort of starting low level, this isn't a huge issue, just like having a couple bad nights of sleep, what sort of things would you recommend and what have you been looking into?
So I think for people who are struggling to get to sleep or having, an issue with kind of relaxing in the evenings, I'd really recommend sleepy teas. So we've tried a couple of types. Twinings, we'd really recommend. A lot of their teas contain things like valerian root, and valerian root is the strongest natural sedative. So, already that is going to help you kind of like get into like the sleepy feeling. If you're drinking this in bed, it's really going to help you relax and kind of get into the sleep mode. So I know a lot of people really struggle with that. Also, passion flower, niacin, and vitamin B12 all contribute to healthy sleep, and they're found in a lot of sleepy teas. Look out for things like chamomile and make sure they're caffeine free, because otherwise that's not going to help you get to sleep.
Not going to help at all. And these are all natural ways, because I know some people don't want to take something a little bit more like medical or like prescription. They just want a natural sort of aid or sedative to help them get to sleep.
Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend if you, just having, a bit of extra time to get to sleep, if you're struggling that way, don't automatically rush to medications. Just see what you can do. Herbal teas are really, really a good way. If it's just that issue with relaxing and getting tired, I think these could be really helpful. Also, things like lavender sprays, those floral scents really can kind of like get the atmosphere in your room ready to go to sleep. So yeah, I think just stick to the herbals if you're just having minor issues.
Yeah, definitely. And there's stuff like Nitol, isn't there, that which if you're not a tea fan, which I know I don't enjoy like tea or coffee, it's not really my thing. Tried sleepy teas, but I just don't really enjoy. There are herbal versions of Nitol, aren't there, that have the same sort of like passion flower and all
valerian
of that.
root, those type of ingredients, and that's kind of just take that in a sleep pill form, and hopefully it'll help you conk out at night.
Yeah, and if this isn't working, and like we're talking sort of months down the line, we are sort of skipping. Some people may have like little issues. It may be a sort of small phase in their life, they're getting stressed out. If this is continuing for months, you've spoke to doctors, you've had sort of CBTs, many conversations, the next step after all of these, and there's many steps in between this, we just want to reiterate, this is almost a last alternative, are sleeping pills. And what is sort of the difference? I know they're non-herbal, and sort of benefits like to this and negatives as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing to mention is please consult your GP before you go and take any type of pill, especially sleeping pills. They can be really helpful for people who are struggling for a long time and have missed out on a lot of important sleep. But as long as you're talking to your GP and they can approve it, this can be something that could really work for you.
There's drugs known as diazepam, there's drugs called Z drugs, and they can easily develop a high tolerance. So the psychiatrist I spoke to said she actually avoids prescribing them at all costs because they can develop quite a high tolerance.
Yeah, I think they get prescribed. So I was prescribed with sleeping pills, and I had 28, but I was told take 5, see if it works. You don't want to be relying on this, because then it doesn't actually fix the problem. As soon as you come off of them, then it's not. You have another problem. You're having withdrawals, or you need something else. So take 5 and try and get back into a routine, because it's all about the routine. Yeah. It's not about getting you to sleep. It's almost changing your brain and knowing, right, when I go to bed, I do fall asleep. So I don't need the sleeping pill. It is a possibility. Yeah. And if those 5 days didn't work, I then had to take another 5, and I haven't taken the rest of them. Even if I am struggling, I just do not want to be sort of hooked onto these, because then it sort of leads into coming off of them. And I know some people then have to go on to like antihistamines and stuff.
Well, there's promethazine, which is the safe antihistamine, and that's what psychiatrists try to prescribe more because there's no side effects. Obviously, if, like you said, the main thing would be to try and fix your sleep without the need of sleep meds and stuff. But if you are struggling, there is promethazine, which is a safe antihistamine.
Yeah, I think that's you're always looking for an alternative, and your GP will recommend what they think is right for you, and they would have spoke to you a lot of times. But I think it's just being aware of what those side effects are. Maybe not freaking out if you do get given sleeping pills and it's got to that point and your GP thinks this is right, this is what you are going to need. Just being aware of those and knowing I might feel a bit drowsy the next day. So plan your next day. Don't have a huge busy day on, because you're not going to be at your full capacity. So just sort of working with it, I think is mostly important.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with you with that. I think, your sleep is a priority, and if you can't get it without, you can't get the rest you need without taking a pill, then it's always worth trying something out. And it might not work for you. It might be the perfect thing. And, just taking it step by step with your GP, and hopefully you can get back to getting a better night's rest.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think speak to the people around you and let them know I'm taking sleeping pills for this time. I might feel a bit drowsy. If you're at work, let them know. I might be underperforming, or give yourself a rest and just know this isn't forever. This might be 5 days that could fix everything.
It's easier said than done. It depends on the person. But I've always tried to, avoid sleeping pills, avoid, trying to just instantly resort to those, because there's also that fear of me, like I said, if it becomes like a reliance. And one thing I have tried and I have been taking since maybe January is something called magnesium glycinate. And it's a form of magnesium supplementation, and it actually offers calming effects on the nervous system. It reduces anxiety, promotes restful sleep, and it's completely natural. And I found it actually works for me well. And since I've started taking it, not really had any issues with sleeping. So there always is more natural things that you can turn to.
How does it feel when you take it? Is it that kind of drowsy feeling instantly?
So it's not, I wouldn't even say it's a noticeable effect. I would say I take it roughly 2 hours before I go to bed, but I've just found that I'm just a lot more calm. I just feel a lot more calm. My quality of sleep has improved a lot as well. I don't really wake up as much in the night, so I found that's helped quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it's just a trial and error, and what works for someone will not work for another person. So don't listen to everyone else or get online or go on forums.
It'd be kind of crazy if everything worked for everybody, but
yeah, we're grateful that there's so many different things out there that you can try.
And
definitely do that.
These are some of the better things you can try. There are sometimes people turn to things such as drugs, alcohol, which obviously is not recommended at all, isn't healthy, isn't exactly going to help anything. It's sort of just masking a problem. But Aimie, what are the effects of alcohol on sleep, and how does it impact sleep?
So there's two ways you can kind of look at it. The first one is that alcohol is, kind of slows your body down. It is a sedative. So it kind of slows down your nervous system and slows down your brain function and kind of helps you unwind. So kind of, that feeling when you've had a drink, feeling a bit slower, and, sometimes it feels like you don't even have to think about falling asleep because you're out straight away. However, even though it feels like you're falling asleep better, your sleep is actually less effective. It's less effective at, fixing, restoring your body. Your mind can't properly rest because your body's processing alcohol, and you actually do have disruptive sleep. So often, when you wake up in the morning after having a few drinks, you feel really tired, even though you might have slept for 10 hours. It's not the same quality of sleep that you would have if you were, hadn't drank. Also, sounds kind of counteractive, but alcohol can actually cause insomnia from the kind of cycle that it kind of produces. So, when somebody becomes reliant on having a drink before bed, they'll drink that, fall asleep, and then they're, drowsy and tired during the day, so they'll drink more caffeine or have a stimulant, and then that will have a negative effect into the evening, where therefore they'll maybe have to drink more to have that same effect. So it's kind of a vicious cycle that, really, really should be carefully watched and definitely avoided, because being dependent on alcohol is never healthy, especially not for sleep. So yeah, should.
Yeah, I think having a dependence on alcohol, whether it is you can't sleep, so you're using it for that, whether it's another thing that you need to look into, is it that you can't sleep, or is it that you're feeling really anxious? You've got a lot going on in your life, so you want to drink to sort of forget that. You need to look into, is sleep the issue? If so, go to your GP. Or is anxiety, depression, something like that the issue? Again, you can go to your GP for that. Alcohol isn't a solution. It may feel like it is, but it's always short term, that then comes with hundreds more long-term issues that you then have to go back and fix.
A lot of people also self-medicate with cannabis as well to help them sleep, because people say that, it kind of switches off that noise in your head and it means it can fall asleep quicker. But cannabis is one of those drugs that people become very dependent on, and it becomes then impossible to sleep without it. So, if you're in a situation, you're in a different country and you don't have that access to it, you can't sleep. You experience insomnia, and it can be really, really difficult. So you need to be really careful with that as well. The two compounds in cannabis are THC and CBD. THC is a psychoactive compound. It leads to more like sedative effects, and CBD is a non-psychoactive one and promotes kind of like relaxation, that kind of like feeling. If you take cannabis, you'll relax and you kind of not feeling energetic anymore. And that kind of interacts with your neurotransmitters and basically helps you fall asleep quicker. And 70% of young adults who do use cannabis report that they do so to help them sleep, which is...
That is a huge figure,
It's quite
70%.
Yeah, and it's concerning, because it's one of those things, if you don't take the time to kind of prohibit that addiction and to kind of take a step away, have breaks, then people become addicted for life, and it's they're completely dependent on this one drug to help them get to sleep.
Sometimes it is the sort of realisation, because some people may not intend to take this for sleep, may just be using it as other medicinal needs, or they just are doing this in their life generally, and then the dependency comes later, and then you almost have to take a step away or have someone else say it to you to realise, because it's a slow sort of process that you won't realise when you're in, until you sort of take a step away and think about that.
I think the most interesting thing about cannabis withdrawal in sleep is the fact that when you are taking cannabis, you don't really have dreams, because it completely limits the REM cycle, which is, you know, kind of the bit where you are dreaming. And then so after, if you're trying to stop smoking before you go to bed and you're like not having cannabis anymore, you kind of experience these really vivid dreams, and sometimes even lucid dreaming.
Are these like hallucinations, or are they?
No, so they're just like the same as we dream. But, you know, if you say been taking cannabis before bed for 3 years and not having dreams that whole time, that kind of experience of dreaming afterwards must be kind of surreal. And like having such vivid dreams would be a bit of a shock. And I think it takes a lot of time to get used to that.
What about cocaine as a drug, and how it almost stops someone sleeping, like, at all? It just prohibits them getting any sleep, and it actually is there to keep you awake.
Yeah.
And what is this like, and how are people that are maybe addicted to cocaine, how does that affect them and their sleep?
Cocaine is a stimulant. It increases our levels of dopamine in our body, and dopamine's the hormone which kind of makes you feel happy, euphoric, and it makes it really, really hard to relax. And often cocaine is taken in large amounts, you know, throughout, you know, a whole night or a whole day. So having those such high levels of dopamine, it's basically impossible to go to sleep before it's kind of like exited your body, and that, you know, can take quite a long time. And because you're staying up for such a long amount of time, it can really kind of mess up your circadian rhythm and your sleep patterns, because you're staying up for so long. Then once you know, inevitably get to sleep at some point, however long after that may be, you sleep, and then you wake up at probably an odd time in the day, and then that's, you know, another issue, trying to reset your sleep pattern. So yeah,
It is
cocaine
just a
is
cycle.
completely destructive for sleep. It is sleep's worst nightmare, basically.
It is sleep's worst nightmare. If you have any issues or you're struggling with something, please go to your GP, and we obviously don't recommend the use of any of them at all. On to our next segment, a little bit of a lighter segment. We've got some stories from our readers, and Rahul is going to start with the first one, and we've got a treat for you, Aimie.
Hello.
So the first one is, hello Doze. So a couple years back, when I started drinking wine, specifically red wine, it then developed into a regular thing and would always make me feel quite relaxed, and I liked the sensation. It would give me the best night's sleep, and I would wake up not even feeling hungover. I then started to notice I would take longer to fall asleep when I hadn't had at least a glass of wine before bed. This was the start of a downward spiral as I started to rely on it to fall asleep. It got to the point where if I hadn't had a glass of wine, I just couldn't sleep. There was a joke with my friends that I was an alcoholic and whatnot, but I didn't think of it this way. What do you think?
Well, it is hard, because when you see alcoholics on TV, in movies and anything, it is obviously dramatised so like largely. It's not one glass of wine before bed, it's loads. It might be double vodkas, it could be just straight spirits or shots. So when you think of an alcoholic, you think of that. But I do almost think, like anything, it's a spectrum of that is the worst, but having a glass of wine before bed and needing the important thing is needing and knowing that you wouldn't, that is still an issue. Maybe it doesn't have the label of you're an alcoholic, but just because it doesn't have that label doesn't mean it's something that you shouldn't be sorting out and that shouldn't be thinking about.
Because this person, from what it says, it was just a glass. It wasn't like they were having, you know, a bottle or whatever. It was just a glass of wine that would make them sleepy and give them a good night's sleep. Yeah. It wasn't as though they were drinking in the day and, you know, it would ruin their day. It was just purely, you know, just send them to sleep, make them feel relaxed.
But if someone said I needed a sleeping pill every day for a year, and it's only in the day, it's only at night even, it's not throughout the day, you'd say, well, that that's not okay. You're addicted to that. So I think it's sort of, you've got to look at that
and
definitely think about it.
Yeah, it just sounds like a kind of a classic thing of dependency. It doesn't matter how much it is, what volume. If you need something to go to sleep, you know, on a sliding scale of addiction, it is a small type of addiction. And hopefully for this person, because it is only one glass of wine, they can hopefully wean themselves off it. But yeah, it is a tricky one for friends to kind of like discuss and think, is this an issue? If they were having you know, a joint before bed, would that be more of an issue?
Yeah, I think it's the same with like a glass of wine. Is he enjoying it? Same with a beer. If you have a beer before bed every night, is that you enjoying it like you'd enjoy an orange juice or a lemonade? Or is that you needing to have a beer every single night before bed?
Well,
Is that an issue?
I think it started off as this person just enjoyed having a glass of wine. They enjoyed how it made them feel. But then it obviously developed into a tolerance and into like reliance and having that before bed.
Yeah, like, I wonder if it ever got to a point where they were having, you know, it got to bedtime and they were like, oh, I don't actually fancy red wine, but they still had it out of necessity.
It wasn't the taste that they were like, I really love the taste and enjoy the taste.
Exactly.
It's, I need to do it. Right, on to our next story. Hey Doze, when I was travelling around Europe, we stayed in hostels to make everything cheaper. This was my first time in a hostel sharing a room with 7 others, and I had no clue what to expect. On the first night, there was this man constantly snoring. I'm not talking a little murmur, I'm talking bed shaking kind of snoring. I was running off 3 hours sleep. I was so tired, so frustrated, and I had just had enough. I started screaming, shut up, shut up, shut up, and woke the whole room up. He did snore less though. Am I the bad person or is he?
You are so the bad person. There's no need to scream.
Yeah.
Surely you could just like shake him or something, be like screaming is a bit.
And to be fair, I do
You'll
know
know better
that
than
feeling
him.
of
It
like
is an
snoring.
yeah.
Really, just like
It gets
makes
on my
me
nerves.
rage. And also when it's like it's been going on for like 3 hours and you think they might stop at some point, and they don't. It's like,
It is the worst. Genuinely, it's like frustrating. It's like you're there twitching, like please, and you can't do anything because they can't control it. But
like get some wax earplugs.
Get some earplugs. Also, you know you're in a hostel. This isn't your friend. This isn't your partner. This is a random stranger. You've signed up to a hostel.
Getting up and screaming. Like, shut up, you're no better than him.
That's just not cool.
You're worse because he can't help it. You at least have some care for the other people and the like sleeping. It's just like at that point, well, just shake him. Surely
now everyone's awake.
That would have made me feel really angry. I think.
Yeah.
Upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy.
I can feel that person's frustration. And I know when it gets too much, but I think you can sort of compose yourself and think, this is really upsetting me. This is annoying me. It happened to me. And this man was really, but the whole night I didn't say anything. And then I like was with my friends and I was like, oh, I couldn't get to sleep. There was this man snoring last night. And like, I didn't say anything. This was in the morning and that we were in a hostel. And then he came over and he went, oh, did you want some earplugs? And I was like, oh no. He was like, oh, was I snoring last night? Obviously being a Brit and being polite. This was an American man. And he was like, oh, did I wake you up? I was like, no, it was fine. I didn't hear anything. Like, slept perfectly. And then he just gave me some, like, earplugs because I think he knew. Yeah. But I didn't complain that night. I just, to my friends quietly the next day. And he probably felt bad and he felt awful. And he actually gave me, like, earplugs. And the next night, slept fine because I had the earplugs. But I wouldn't have, in the middle of the night, screamed and shouted. Woke everyone up, probably scared everyone, like.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, I'd be so... I think that's silly. But
I think in a hostel, you've got to expect that night's sleep is not going to be perfect. Aimie, could be you.
I don't snore, guys.
Our resident snorer.
I've heard things that
You've heard whispers on the grapevine.
Yeah, I have heard a murmur or two.
And how would you feel if someone was shouting, shut up to you?
Say, don't rain on my parade.
I
am who I am. I'm just breathing heavily anyway.
So it's okay.
Let a girl breathe.
Let a girl breathe. Right. So now we have this game, Aimie.
Okay.
It's called Right, Wrong, or It's Not Right, but It's Okay. So we've got some scenarios, some sort of statements, and you're deciding, is this statement right, wrong, or it's not right, but it's okay.
Right.
So we'll start with the first one.
So the first one is sleeping with a nightlight.
I feel like it's okay.
Is that fine? But like, why do you need it? Like,
Kinda,
What it Rahul, do you wanna
can't-
do
explain?
you have one?
I do. I just.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I just kind of. I can't sleep without one. I just don't like the
what's
dark.
it like? Can you describe it?
So it's just a little like. It's just a little like red LED kind of thing.
Oh, I thought it was like, one of those baby ones that you plug into the wall.
Oh, I have one of them as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
No,
So I have
Amy
my
was about
LED.
to hate.
I have
An
my
LED.
little plug-in one.
Have you ever
is it-
tried without it?
Yeah, I don't like it.
You just
Is it
couldn't?
relaxing? Like,
I just it's not
Sometimes
like
it's easy to
it's not
like-
like a white light. It's just like a kind
Yeah.
of soothing one. Because I just don't like the dark. I've watched too many horror films and
really?
yeah.
What would you do? What about like if you had like curtains that sort of, obviously when it's outside it's dark, would you not just have like not
Yeah.
pitch black? Like my room now is like blackout curtains. Blackout blinds, can't see a thing, and it's like it is really dark and I don't mind it, but I could see why if someone hates the dark they wouldn't like that. Would you not like a little bit of light, or does it actually have to be I can see?
Well, last year when I had I lived in the house I lived in, so my bed was right against the window, so I would open the blind a little bit and just like have some of the natural light coming in. But obviously the way my room is this year, I can't really do that. And I just prefer to have just a little. It's not like it doesn't disrupt me at all. It's just like it's just kind of soothing, I find.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't need to be in a pitch black room. Some people need a pitch black room.
Yeah.
So like a light being on probably wouldn't, if it was a bright light then obviously, but if it was a little one it probably wouldn't disturb my sleep. But would you do this like when you're like 40, 50? Do you think it would just be a thing?
I don't. Maybe if I had someone next to me, I wouldn't need to have it.
Well, yeah. So then you can combat the dark together, just in case anything.
You can
happens.
fight it together, or you can push them in front. They can
Yeah.
deal with
Exactly.
the
But as of
whatever.
now, I'm sleeping on my own, so I kind of just prefer.
That's
having a
fair
light.
enough. I think there's nothing wrong with it. If it helps you sleep, it
Yeah.
helps you sleep.
I think like whatever you sleep with, it's
It's
sort of,
right.
I think it's right.
It's right.
Yeah,
Not for me, but it's right.
Right.
it's not
You were saying.
not a bit of
You were
me.
saying something a bit different before.
Well, I just, to be fair, you've enlightened me.
I've enlightened you.
I don't think it's wrong. This is the thing. I'm not sure if it's like completely right and okay, but it's definitely not wrong.
Okay.
Like it's just not.
So
It doesn't affect anything.
Well, there is a middle option for that.
It's not right, but it's okay. I'd still go more to right. Like if
Yeah.
you need it,
Yeah, I
that's
think,
better than not getting any sleep.
I don't
That's
think
a
it's
smarter way.
controversial.
So we
Yeah.
we're all saying it's right.
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah.
first ever?
This is the first ever
Yeah.
time we've all agreed.
Nice.
Oh, that's
well,
beautiful.
let's hope.
Only
I-
in support
Yeah.
of you.
Let's hope it continues, although it might not.
It
with this one.
probably won't.
It probably won't. And the next one is not showering before bed.
See, I think this
So not
one
showering
is
at night.
made out to feel awful because it's more like, oh, you're a morning or a night shower. I have to have a shower in the morning to wake me up. I cannot. And I also think it's a bit grim if you don't have a shower in the morning. Like some people are like, oh, I've had one in the night. I'm like, but you've still slept. You might have like sweated in the night, moved about.
depends.
Like,
This is
So
where
you can
opinion comes
tell.
in.
yeah. And my opinion is like, I'm only going to bed at night. If I've done something, like if I've done some sport, done exercise, been out, had like a heavy day, or I'm washing my hair, I might have a night shower, but not every night. I'd rather just in the morning wake up and feel fresh. I know you can have both, don't get me wrong, you can
Most
do.
nights have a night shower because it's just like that nice transition from daytime to bedtime. You get into bed, you're all cozy. It's like,
Yeah.
it's actually, there's no feeling
But
quite
mine
like
does
that.
the other.
You know,
mine does
what I
the
mean.
opposite.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh,
I'm being done.
yeah.
Mine does the opposite because the shower wakes me up. So if I have a shower before bed, like if I know I'm washing my hair, or if I've done exercise, I have to have a shower almost like a couple hours before. So like I'll come in after going and doing cheer. Say if I finish at like 9, I'll have to have a shower immediately because then I won't be able to sleep because the shower wakes me up. So I think it would do the like alternative
But
for
if
me.
it's like a really hot,
It's really
warm
hot shower because what I find is like, also it's like, say if I've been out all day, it doesn't necessarily have to be doing something. before I get into bed, I just like to be clean. I just like to feel clean.
Yeah.
And like also what it is this is factual. And
He's coming at me.
I'm coming with the facts. Yeah.
Gosh.
Coming with the facts.
Oh wow.
So when you
How
have
can
a
I fight this?
so the way your body, like what relaxes your body, what makes you sleepy, is when your body temperature cools down, right? So when you have a really hot shower before bed, that raises your body temperature, and so when you get into bed, your body temperature starts to cool down. And that makes you sleepy. So I find that having a really hot shower before I go to sleep, when I get into bed, I just feel like all like relaxed and sleepy.
Maybe I'd have to change it. I think it's just because mine is such a wake up. Like I will literally wake up and be like, I need to have a shower to wake myself up. Like if I know I've got 9 a.m.
I do
hear the part where you're saying like you've slept and you want to wake up. But I then think, if you're going to have a morning shower, you should still have a night shower. But I don't think it has to be the other way around.
But I also think, what happens if you've had a night and you've sweated in the night and like you're then starting your day off where
then
like
you
you're
should
seeing
have a
everyone.
shower because then you know it's like summertime.
Summertime shower, yeah.
Sometimes I do.
Well, summertime you could argue being out in the day and stuff, and then you should shower before you shower at night.
Yeah, true. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think maybe I'd have to do mine a little earlier on, so it wouldn't have to be a right before night shower.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe I'd have to do that. I wouldn't say I wouldn't give it a go.
Well,
so I'm going to say not showering
at night
is right.
Not showering at night is right.
I think it's right. I think that's so okay. As long as you have enough showers in the day, and if you've done some like exercise, please go and have a shower.
I can't remember the other options, but I think it's right, but
it's not right, but it's okay. That's an option.
Nah, I know. I think it is right. Wait.
So there's right. So not showering at night, right, wrong. It's not right, but it's okay.
It's not right, but it's okay.
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, because I think you really probably should have a shower at night, but if you don't, it's actually not the end of the world. You know what I mean?
I'm still showering, guys, just before anyone thinks like she's dirty.
I wouldn't.
I swear.
No, you're not in this.
Have you had a shower? Have you had a shower this morning then?
No, because I
What?
had a shower.
I had a shower
overnight.
just before I went to sleep.
See, I could never. I need a shower in the morning.
By the way, I'm saying wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying wrong.
Okay.
So we've disagreed.
Oh, yeah, three-way
disagree.
So you went from all agreeing to three-way disagreeing.
No one.
Okay.
Now this one. Leaving your bed sheets unwashed for longer than 2 weeks. I'm going straight up wrong. Like, straight up. Please wash your sheets. Aimie!
I understand. I get it. Because, like, at uni, it can be...
No, surely you just feel disgusting.
No, I know.
No, but I don't, like, sweat loads or dribble loads.
But, like,
in
your
my
face,
sleep.
it's really bad, like, if your pillows. Because you're meant to... Like,
tell me why I've got
on
perfect skin then.
Exactly. Come on.
So
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it makes me grim, but I would, in the future I probably will do when I've got a bit more time. But I've been busy. And like I'm up early in the morning, and then when I get back, then it takes too long to wash and dry it.
2 weeks though.
And then I live in a house of 4, and everyone's using the washing machine.
I do get that.
It's like then I have to wait for my bedding to dry, and then it's like.
That does happen to me a lot.
I do wash my bedding. Like,
how often though? How often are we talking?
So I try and stick to like 1 to 2 weeks, but I'm just saying there has been periods where it's been longer, but circumstances, and I think that's fine. I think
once a month.
I think once a month is fine, as long as you're not like, I don't know, what's everyone doing in their sleep, like sweating. And
I just think like your pillows, like that's what I'd think, like your pillow. Like, it's just, I don't know, I don't think I could do it. I know someone that only changes, I could see like your duvet and stuff, but only changes their bottom sheet.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And I'm like, well, if you're washing the bottom sheet, why would you not just wash the rest of it?
Yeah. And because there is no feeling quite like having fresh bedding.
So what are we saying?
Maybe it's not right, but it's okay.
It's not right, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's right.
Right. We've had this.
I think it's fine, guys.
Yeah.
No fret.
No, it's not right, but it's okay. I'll allow it, but don't get into the habit, please.
What? Do you wash your bed sheets, please? Wash your bed.
Wash your bed sheets.
Yeah.
And have showers
at night.
Yeah, because, well, that's the thing. Maybe it doesn't matter because I'm showering every single night before I go to bed. My bed sheets never get dirty.
Yeah.
And I
but
don't do
there's
any outside clothes in the bed.
Well, thank you guys for listening. I hope you have all enjoyed. Please follow all our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And we've got this going up on Spotify and YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that. And also head over to Doze. We've got so many exciting pieces up that we'd love for you to read.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you. Take
Goodbye.
care. Bye.
Sleep well.
Sleep well.
Good night.